Um, uh, can you hear me? Okay.
Hey Fanatics! We got some fresh fanatic gossip coming up in this video, so stay tuned. Michael Jackson was famous for many things, not just being the king of pop. He had not only incredible dance moves and an iconic fashion sense, but also a pretty great voice that evolved significantly throughout his career. He started singing pretty early, so you can see how his voice evolved throughout the years and with the release of every new album. But a lot of his fans are convinced that the pop star isn't dead. There have also been claims that he faked his voice, and some insiders have revealed that his speaking voice was totally different from his voice on camera. Is there any truth to these rumors? From his early days as a child prodigy with the Jackson 5 to his solo stardom as an adult, Michael Jackson's voice actually went through multiple transformations, each phase being iconic in its own right and adding to his unique and enduring musical legacy. There have been some pretty crazy conspiracy theories surrounding Michael's voice. The most controversial one by far being that his voice was completely different on camera and off camera. Yep, according to that theory, as Jackson ventured into adulthood, he carefully curated a family-friendly image that resonated with children. He frequently opened up about the theft of his own childhood, expressing a strong desire to stay forever young. Central to this Peter Pan persona was Jackson's iconic soft and high-pitched speaking style, much like his distinctive dance moves and shimmering glove, all integral parts of his burgeoning fame. Yet, beneath the surface, there's a twist to this story. Several individuals who had the privilege of knowing Jackson intimately have shared insights suggesting that his public voice wasn't his true private mode of communication. Sam Brown III, Jackson's musical director, in a candid interview with VH1 back in 2005, revealed that this was the persona he wanted his fans to see and it wasn't the real him. He even called him and he answered the phone. Brown had no idea who he was talking to because he was speaking in his regular, rather deep voice, which was nothing like his stage voice. A similar story was shared by Jackson's friends Liza Minnelli and David Guest in 2002. The ex-couple were guests on an episode of Larry King Live. Guest straight up said that he doesn't think anyone knows the real him and he doesn't actually sound that way. Minnelli used to be sure that Jackson's high-pitched voice was real. She told King that she picked up the phone one night and heard Jackson talking to guests in his unaltered voice and was so surprised. She called him out on it and told him that the jig was up. When pressed further, both he and Minnelli said they believe the reason he crafted a persona and hid his real personality was to protect himself from an intrusive public. And we can't blame him for that either. It's not easy for celebrities out there. Every little thing they do is so heavily scrutinized. She theorized that this was his way of putting up his walls because he's been hurt too much by both the media and people he loves. She defended him too, saying that no matter what anyone says, he's really a regular, decent person. Back in 2005, Oprah Winfrey had a chat with Lisa Marie Presley, where they delved into her marriage with Jackson, and Oprah reminisced about their first encounter. Fast forward to 1993, when Oprah was gearing up for a live interview with the king of pop himself. She shared with Presley that her initial off-camera meeting with Jackson was rather surprising. He spoke in a normal voice. Presley couldn't help but agree, highlighting how it contrasted with the public image of him. Now let's talk about Jackson's 2005 child abuse trial, which was a media frenzy. Diane Diamond from Court TV was there, and she claimed to have heard Jackson's voice take a big, deep turn, especially when delivering bad news or getting upset. Piers Morgan also had an intriguing encounter when he interviewed Jackson over the phone. He noticed a peculiar pattern. When Jackson discussed charity and children, his voice was soft and high-pitched. But as soon as the conversation shifted to business, his voice dropped several octaves, revealing different facets of his personality. But here's the kicker. Jackson, who was known for his privacy and limited interviews, did occasionally let his deeper voice slip into the public sphere. Take, for instance, his Super Bowl halftime show in 1993, where he addressed the audience before performing Heal the World in a noticeably deeper tone than usual. A similar occurrence took place during the History World Tour in 1996, specifically when performing in the closet. During the spoken word parts of the song, Jackson's voice took on a depth that surprised many, offering a rare glimpse into the multifaceted character behind the legendary performer. Believe it or not, there were moments when the world got a glimpse of Michael Jackson's real voice. Even though he had a lot to deal with when it came to his personal life, Michael's voice remained a testament to his enduring talent and dedication to his craft. His vocal control was still exceptional, and he continued to experiment with different vocal textures and harmonies. In the later years of his life, Michael Jackson's voice faced challenges due to the toll of age and health issues. The strain of his rigorous touring and the controversies surrounding his personal life took a toll on his vocal abilities. His voice had lost some of its youthful vibrancy and agility. During his This Is It concert rehearsals in 2009, which tragically became his final public performances, fans noticed a somewhat weaker and more fragile quality to his voice. However, even in this state, his sheer presence and charisma on stage were enough to captivate audiences. But ever since his tragic passing, fans have thrown out newer and increasingly crazier conspiracy theories. The sensational claims came out in 2019 after clips of Spanish impersonator Sergio Cortez went viral and left fans of the singer scratching their heads. We can't blame them though. Sergio does look way too much like Jackson, and some fans have asked that he get a DNA test to prove he is not the legendary pop singer himself. Followers of Jackson got really worked up over the latest video that Sergio had uploaded. This video was taken by many of them as concrete proof that the impersonator and Jackson are one of the same person. But there are some pretty obvious signs that Sergio is not Jackson himself, it being the Spanish accent and the fact that he looks years younger than Jackson would do if he were alive today. Some folks say that his death was staged and he just used it so he could run away from a life of stardom and live a more low-key life somewhere else. There have been a lot of theories about Elvis Presley and Jim Morrison too, but sadly, that's not true, because the post-mortem revealed that it was indeed Michael. Soon after his death, a border officer reported seeing the King of Pop crossing the border from California to Mexico. But that went nowhere, because not a single person in Mexico spotted Jackson after that. Michael Jackson's only daughter, Paris, says she believes her father was killed. In an old interview, she said to a news agency she is convinced her father's death, being attributed to a cardiac arrest, was just a front. Other theories claim that Jackson died due to drug overdose. Reports also revealed that he died from the deadly mixture of drugs in his body. The star was heavily addicted and was injected daily with his fix. Dr. Conrad Murray, his doctor, was even tried and found guilty of involuntary manslaughter and was sentenced to 2 years of jail. That's all for this video. Do you think the King of Pop is alive, or is all that just hooey? Let us know in the comment section below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one!